Hi, and welcome to the March 2025 release of Transfer CFT 3.10. This version is compatible with earlier releases and can be installed on top of existing Transfer CFT instances. Some of the most important enhancements in this release are support for open SSH keys. We've embedded the Secure Relay 2.5.0 master agent. You should update your DMZ router agent to version 2.5.0 as well. User interface improvements include simplifying the filter and layout management, performance updates such as optimized renaming time on AWS, and reduced system calls to the catalog and communication media files on Unix. User interface enhancements this release include simplified transfer filtering, improved page layout on the transfers page. Let's take a look at a few of these usability improvements. In version 25.03, we introduced new layouts in the transfer catalog view to improve usability. As you can see, we can now add a new layout in a more intuitive way. Let's see how to create a new layout with additional columns. Let's add the SSL and working dir fields. We can also easily remove columns from the display. Let's save this new layout. You can now see the updated display with the new layout, which includes the two added columns and excludes the ones we removed. Note that you can also rearrange the columns as you wish. Now let's take a look at the new ways to filter the transfer catalog using this range of predefined, advanced, and customizable filters. The filters readily available include time, status, and direction filters, but you'll also have access to advanced filtering options as well as a menu to manage your personal filters. Let's launch a transfer to test one of the time filters. When we select, for example, the last 15 minutes filter, only our looping transfer appears as expected. You can click the Clear All Filters link at any time to disable all active filters. You can also access more precise filtering options based on specific or relative date and time ranges. Let's select all transfers from today using a relative date filter. Now that we've selected a filter that suits our needs, let's see how to save it locally in the Custom Filters section. Here's an example with a filter for the last 5 minutes. To wrap up with filters, let's take a look at the advanced filters, which allow us to filter on specific catalog fields such as the IDTU, the partner name, or the IDF. Let's select all transfers whose identifier starts with A. This beta feature enables Transfer CFT to effectively act as a hub, facilitating communication between different endpoints using a single or multiple steps. Let's start the CFT routing demo. Note that this feature is currently experimental and delivered as a beta. This demonstration shows how to route a file from a source SFTP client, such as FileZilla, to Transfer CFT Hub B, and from there to Transfer CFT Target C in PESIT protocol. Let's see how Transfer CFT Hub B is configured to enable routing. In the Protocols section, we can see that the SFTP server on CFT Hub B is configured using a CFT protocol object having a type SFTP and a listening port set to 31,763. The SFTP client side is configured in the Partners section. Note that important parameters include nrpart, which should match the client login, and nrpassw for the password. This partner is acting only in server mode, so there's no need to provide a remote SAP value, and hosts is set to localhost. Now let's take a closer look at where the routing feature is configured, specifically in the CFT receive objects, and the routes section where we define the route and steps. As you can see, when a file is received on this receive ID route, the following route to target will be selected. A CFT route object can be configured with multiple steps. If we look at the toTarget route, we can see a CFT step object of type send-to with a post-processing phase. This step has two configurable parameters, partner and IDF, where the partner value corresponds to the final partner to which the file will be routed. In our example, this is Transfer CFT on target C. And the default value set for the IDF parameter you can find there means that the incoming transfer identifier will be reused as the outgoing transfer identifier. Let's take a look at the configuration related to the partner we're routing to using the PESIT protocol. First, we'll review the protocol that will be used, and then the definition of this partner. Note that for the CFT part object, the important parameters are NSPart, NRPart, remote SAP, and remote hosts. Let's start the transfer flow from a FileZilla SFTP client, which uploads a file to the CFT server. Let's go back to the CFT UI, where we'll verify that the routing flow was successfully executed. There are two transfers in the catalog. One initiated by the client with part equals SFTP_client, and another triggered automatically by the route with part equals target. Let's take a look at the transfer details. We can read in CFT log two messages confirm that the transfer was successfully routed. CFTW10I, routing step, succeeded, and CFTR12, ISENDTO, treated with new IDTU and related transfer RIDTU. In conclusion, the routing worked as expected, successfully directing an incoming SFTP transfer to an outgoing PESIT transfer. These new upload REST APIs allow you to renew keys, upload script files, and delete script files. Let's take a closer look. Let's start the script upload demo. This feature allows you to upload, update, or delete files via APIs, and even update your product key when it's about to expire. The first configuration element is found in Unified Configuration under the Upload settings. As shown in this example, you declare all the directories that can be accessed remotely in a secure way. For each node declared, you'll specify its corresponding path on the remote CFT. Let's open the Swagger interface. The API offers several basic functions in the miscellaneous section. First, Get Uploads lists all remote directories. Post Uploads lets you send remote scripts. Put Uploads allows you to update a file. And finally, Delete Uploads lets you remove it. Now let's take a look at our first use case, which is updating the product key. As we can see on the home page, the license has expired. Let's go back to Swagger and upload the new product key. Let's choose the Put Uploads function, then click on Try It Out. Select the ID corresponding to the node we defined earlier, which we named conf, and enter the name of the product key file as it appears on the remote system, cft.key. Then, select the text/plain option. In the body, paste the new product key. Click Execute. Let's make sure the request returned a 200 status code. Now let's verify that the product key has been updated and that the license key alert no longer appears on the UI homepage. Awesome! Now let's move on to the second use case for this new feature, sending an acknowledgement script to the remote CFT, adding it to the CFT receive, and finally executing the flow. So let's use the Post Uploads function in Swagger and upload the script to the upload directory of the CFT runtime. Select the file to upload, then click Execute. Make sure you receive a 201 response code. Perfect. Now let's add this script to the reception template called bin2. Let's open the object and go to the processing section, where we'll select the script we just uploaded using the REST API function. Save the object, and now head to the transfer page to execute the flow. Let's start a transfer on the bin2 IDF, and check that the acknowledgement script is correctly triggered at the end of the reception. Well done! We've successfully completed the task. Keep in mind that this feature is particularly useful for sending processing scripts to a CFT you may not have direct access to, such as a container. This release delivers a sample file to assist you in converting data from a CSV file, which organizes data in rows and columns, into a JSON lines file, where each line represents a single JSON object. You can now compute a Kafka message key based on the transferred JSON payload. Transfer CFT usage metrics are generated by each instance of Transfer CFT in your production environment. To aid in collecting this data, Axway Event Router 3.0 provides a centralized way to aggregate usage metrics across all instances. Thanks for watching. There are so many updates in this release. Please look for the link to the release notes in the description below. And if you are unfamiliar with Transfer CFT, the description also provides access to free introductory product training. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.